Gentlemen, if you've been trying to give a woman a clitoral orgasm by doing the same motion over and over, little circles, side-to-side strokes, whatever tip you picked up somewhere, there's something you should know. That technique might actually be making it harder for her to climax. I'm Dr. Julia Rhodes, a specialist in men's sexual health. Over the past decade, I've had the privilege of working closely with thousands of couples. Through this experience, I've discovered one technique that's about 10 times more effective than what most men are doing. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what that method is, why the typical approach often falls short, and how to use a simple two-stage technique that gives her the best chance of reaching climax without any pressure, numbness, or frustration. Stay with me here because this part could genuinely change everything. Before we get into the technique itself, you need to understand why the typical approach doesn't work. Most men pick one movement, rubbing in circles, side to side, up and down, and think that if they just keep repeating it, her sensation will intensify until she climaxes. But here's what actually happens. That repetitive motion desensitizes her clitoris. It gets numb. She checks out. Instead of building sensation, you're killing it. And on top of that, the repetitive motion creates massive pressure. It's obvious you're on a mission to make her come. So now she's thinking, am I taking too long? Is he tired? Will he be upset if I don't climax? She can only have an orgasm if she relaxes into it. But you've just filled her with stress. And stress shuts down her body's ability to feel pleasure. Will this approach work sometimes? Sure. For some women, under the right conditions, but you're pushing through massive obstacles with a really ineffective technique, and most of the time it simply fails. So let me break it down. The technique that actually works requires you to see clitoral orgasm as a two-stage process, not one continuous motion. In stage one, you're stimulating her clitoris to let her enjoy it. You're not trying to make her come. She can relax. She can savor every sensation. And you're intentionally, gradually giving her stronger and stronger sensations to build intensity, but without the pressure of chasing orgasm. This naturally brings her close to climax. Then, when she's naturally close, without trying to be close, you flip your technique completely. You use a totally different approach. That's when you focus on the orgasm. But because she's already very close, it's a short distance to go, and you have a much better chance of success than if you start from the beginning with all that stress and repetitive numbing. Here's what you need to know. These two stages are completely different. If you try to do both with the same technique, you're making orgasm infinitely more difficult for her. Let's start with stage one. Taking her close to orgasm. I recommend practicing this with oral first. Your tongue is more sensitive than your fingers, you'll give her better sensation, and you'll be able to read her body more easily. Now, for men over 60, I know oral can be physically demanding. Your jaw might fatigue. Your neck might get stiff. So position matters. Use pillows to elevate her hips so you're not straining. Take your time. This isn't a race. In stage one, remember, you're not trying to make her come. You're just giving her really nice sensation in every moment. But here's the catch. There's no rhythm. Don't lock into a repetitive pattern. That makes it boring. She'll get numb and check out. Instead, you're creating one sensation at a time, then another, then another. This natural variation keeps her senses alive and acute. What kind of movement should you use? You don't need a dozen different techniques, just a few that work well for the clitoris. Tickling the clitoris gently with your tongue, applying pressure, holding and releasing, then pressing again. Slow flicking side to side, slow circling, pushing the clitoris around, picking it up from underneath with a slight hook motion of your tongue. Which ones work for your specific woman? That's something you'll discover by paying attention to her responses. Every woman is different. But here's what matters most. You don't pick one movement and do it to death. You move between them. A little of this, a little of that. Variation keeps it interesting, not boring. And here's the real technique at this stage, how you build up intensity, not through speed. Speed can numb her. You increase intensity through firmness. You start with much softer contact, much more gentle movement. As time goes, you progress to more firm movement. Same techniques, just firmer pressure. What you're doing is allowing her to enjoy every sensation in each moment. She doesn't know you have the intention of bringing her close to orgasm. She's just enjoying herself. And that keeps her relaxed. Because you kept her clitoris sensitive, gave her lots of variation without numbing rhythm, and didn't put her under pressure, she's going to come closer to orgasm naturally, far more easily than the typical approach. Now, how do you know when she's getting close? Keep reading her body. If she's moving more, you're on the right track. If her breathing deepens, that nice, pleasurable breath, you're increasing sensation well. If you feel her clitoris getting bigger, pushing into you, or pulsating, it's becoming more aroused. And you can even tell her, let me know if something feels really good. Many women appreciate the chance to guide you. At some point, you'll feel her body experiencing something intense. Deeper breathing, movement, and especially a bit of tensing up, shaking, or trembling in her body. That means she's getting close to orgasm. This is where everything changes. Which brings me to stage 2, closing the distance. In this moment, when you can feel she's experiencing something intense, pay close attention to what you're doing right now. Which specific movement are you using? Stay with it. Now, yes, now, you keep repeating that same movement. Don't change anything. At this point, when she's already close, that repetitiveness helps carry her over into orgasm. Because it's a very short sprint. She's already right there. If you tried this from the beginning, it would put her under pressure and probably numb her out. But because you're only doing it for a short sprint at the end, it works beautifully. Truth is, this approach works far more effectively than trying to make her come from the start. But here's the twist. Will this technique guarantee a clitoral orgasm? Absolutely not. There's no technique in the world that's guaranteed to work. There are a million factors in her: stress, distraction, hormones, past experiences that can block orgasm, and you have no control over those. What this process gives you is the best chance. You'll have 5 to 10 times more chance of giving her an orgasm with this technique than anything you were doing before. And for men over 60, this approach plays to your strengths. You have patience. You can read subtle signals. You're not racing to the finish. You're present with her, and that presence is what creates the conditions for her body to let go. I covered the deeper mechanics of this technique in last week's newsletter, including specific tongue positioning, how to avoid jaw fatigue, and advanced variations for women who have difficulty climaxing. If you're not subscribed, links in the description. So let me ask, have you been using repetitive motion from the start? Or are you ready to try this 2-stage approach? Drop it in the comments. If you're looking for the full guide to genuinely pleasing women over 60, including expert tips on oral, manual stimulation, and full body arousal, sign up for my free weekly newsletter. Every edition delivers straightforward, effective strategies that really work. Just follow the link in the description to join. Remember, her orgasm isn't about working harder. It's about understanding what truly brings pleasure and using thoughtful, focused techniques instead of sheer effort or repetition. I'm Dr. Julia Rhodes, and I'll see you in the next one.